Good morning. Happy 4th of July.
Morning.
Welcome. I'm Stacy Ashley. I'm the Executive Director of the Petaluma Museum, and I'm so happy to have you all here this morning for our annual 4th of July celebration and bell ringing. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on the ancestral land of the Coast Miwok people. The name Petaluma is derived from one of several nearby Coast Miwok and Southern Pomo villages occupied at the time of European contact. We respect and honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it through generations, as well as the present-day community of descendants of Indigenous people who carry forward their culture. I'd like to thank Mayor Kevin McDonald, Vice Mayor Karen Now, for joining us today, as well as members of the Petaluma Museum Association Board of Directors, our museum volunteers, and members. Big thanks to Leif Ortegren of the Petalumans of yesteryear for organizing our program today. Thank you, Leif. And a special thank you to Boy Scout Troop 9 and my own Girl Scout Troop 10134. When I'm not at the museum, I'm a co-leader of a junior Girl Scout troop. And I'd like to thank Rivertown Voices for leading us in song today. We have a lovely morning of community and togetherness planned for you today. In addition to enjoying beautiful music, we'll learn a little bit about the history of 4th of July, and following our ceremony, we'll culminate the day with the traditional ringing of the historic Corbell bell. And following the ceremony, anyone who would like to ring the bell is welcome to, so please stick around. And I hope you'll join us afterwards for refreshments in the courtyard behind the museum. We have lemonade, and our friends at Stellina Pronto have brought over some delicious cookies for us. And since it is only proper to toast the ringing of the Corbell bell with Corbell champagne, we also invite you to enjoy a glass of bubbly or a mimosa, courtesy of Corbell champagne sellers. Also today, you will be the first to get a sneak preview of our new exhibit, I Do, which highlights the museum's extraordinary collection of historic wedding gowns and other bridal attire. This is the third time that we've done this exhibit, so if you've seen it before, you know what a treat you're in for. We have amazing textiles dating from the 1860s all the way up to the 1980s. We even have Vice Mayor Now's wedding dress. Thank you, Karen, for loaning that to us. It's quite extraordinary. And it's a wonderful opportunity to see the attire that Petalumans from the past have worn over the years for their special celebrations. Finally, we have a new addition this year to our program, a pop-up wish wall. As we look ahead to the United States' 250th birthday next year, we've partnered with an organization called Made by Us and history museums across the nation to invite you to share your wish for our country. Our wish wall is located in the courtyard behind the museum, so when you come back for refreshments, be sure that you make a wish and write it on one of the cards we have available for you and pin it to our wall. You can also participate online on our 250th.org. And our hope is that this wish wall provides an opportunity for reflection about what we want for ourselves as a nation and to help foster a renewed spirit of unity. So I hope you'll all participate. All right, now I would like to welcome Boy Scout Troop 9 for the presentation of the colors.
Color guard to attention. Troop to attention. Audience, please rise. Color guard forward march. Color guard halt. Color guard prepare to raise the colors. Scouts, military, and veterans salute. Audience may place their right hand over their heart. Color guard, raise the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Color guard, secure the halyard. Color guard dismissed. Please join me in the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Please join me in the Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to be clean in to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Please join me in the outdoor code. As an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, to be careful with fire, to be considerate of the outdoors, and to be conservation-minded.
Thank you so much, Boy Scout Troop 9. I want to take a moment this morning to express my thanks to all of you, our community. Like museums across the country, we recently found ourselves facing a financial shortfall due to federal cuts to the agencies that support our nation's museums and libraries. You saw our need and you really stepped up, Petaluma. The city of Petaluma, who are our partners in all we do, catalyzed our fundraising with a $15,000 matching gift, and we could not be more grateful for their generosity. An outpouring of support from you, our community, followed, helping us bridge the budget gap and raise a total of more than $40,000 to make the museum more able to weather this challenge and to be better prepared for future uncertainties. Thank you so much. Our story is the perfect example of why community matters and why it is more important than ever that we gather like we are today. At this moment in our nation's history, Americans are incredibly polarized. There's a lot of political discontent and disagreement. But on the community level, where daily life happens, we're fortunate to see more bright spots than dark clouds. At this museum, the historic heart of Petaluma, we're committed to being a place that brings people together through opportunities for civic engagement, like this morning, social interaction, and the celebration of our diverse life experiences and viewpoints through our exhibitions, events, and programs. But building community is not just about bringing people together. We're creating a foundation for individual and collective well-being, resilience, and positive change. Thank you for investing in this critical work that we're doing and for being part of our community. Now I'd like to invite my Girl Scout Troop 10134 forward with my co-leader Marilyn. And they'll begin by saying the Girl Scout promise, and you're welcome to join us in that if you'd like. And following the promise, they will lead us in song with This Land Is Your Land. And we ask that everyone join in on the second and third verses. Okay, let's start with the Girl Scout promise.
On my honor, I will try to serve my community and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. ridden up highways, I saw above me the endless highways, I saw below me the golden valleys. This land was made for you and me. I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
Please welcome Homer Johnstone.
I've learned from past that I really need to speak into the microphone for this, so bear with me. It is appropriate for us to sing our national anthem, and we will. And most of us know that the lyrics were written by Francis Scott Key, but how many of us know where the music came from? To find out, we must go back to ancient Greece in the 6th century BC. There, the Greek poet Anacreon wrote works that celebrated women, wine, and entertaining. He was dubbed the convivial bard of Greece. Fast forward to London in the years around the time of our revolution. There, a gentleman's club of amateur musicians, calling themselves the Anacreontic Society, met 12 times a year to celebrate wit, harmony, and the god of wine, and to promote music. They had an anthem of their own called To Anacreon in Heaven, the melody to which Francis Scott Key attached his poem called at that time The Defense of Fort McHenry. Here is To Anacreon in Heaven. To Anacreon in heaven, where he sat in full glee, a few sons of harmony sent a petition that he their inspirer and patron would be. When the answer arrived from the jolly old Grecian, voice, fiddle, and flute no longer be moot. I'll lend you my name and inspire you to boot. And besides, I'll instruct you, like me, to entwine the myrtle of Venus with Bacchus's vine.
Whoa!
And now to lead us in the real national anthem, we have the Rivertown Voices directed by Layla Shainline.
Man first.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh,
Yankee Doodle is actually probably our oldest patriotic song. It was written 20 years before the Revolution and wasn't a patriotic song at all to begin with. In fact, it was written by a British officer in 1755, basically as an insult. So let me break it down for you. I know we all know the words. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. He stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. As a kid, I always thought, well, that's really a silly song. But so Yankee is an old word, and that was used by the British in the 1600s as an insult for the Dutch colonists, because the British did develop an insult for each of their colonies. And because many of them were named Jan, and so Yankee became, if you were like that kind of person, then became Yankee. And a doodle, before it was a kind of a dog or a scribble on a piece of paper, was a hick or a hayseed or someone who was just not very sophisticated. And of course, he's riding on a pony, so it's kind of like a grown man on a kid's bicycle. It's just, this guy has no shame, right? And then he sticks a feather in his cap and calls it macaroni. Well, what was that all about? Well, if you think about the British lords in the mid-1800s, they had those powdered wigs, just as the judges still do. And of course, there's always good ones and bad ones, and the very best ones had the smallest curls, and they look like a big pile of white macaroni. So Yankee Doodle, he sticks a feather in his cap and he calls it macaroni. So here's this American who's claiming that he's just as good as the British, even though he doesn't have all the good things that they have. And the British thought this was hilarious, and it became very popular. But a funny thing happened. It was adopted by the colonists, who thought, well, you know what? That's us. We are just as good as they are, which was a radical notion in the 1700s. And so when the Revolution came along, they adopted it as their own, and they wrote some new lyrics. And that's what we're going to hear right now.
There are 8 verses to this song. But don't worry, we're only doing 3.
Father and I went down to camp along with Captain Gooding, and there we saw the men and boys as thick as hasty pudding. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. And there was Captain Washington upon a slapping stallion, now giving orders to his men. I guess there was a million. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. And there I saw a swamping garment as a log of maple upon a mighty little cart, a load for father's cattle. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy.
Thank you so much, Homer, Leaf, and the Rivertown Voices. I'd now like to welcome the Honorable Kevin McDonald, Mayor of Petaluma, as he reads the July 4th bell-ringing proclamation.
Thank you. And it's a real treat for me to be your mayor and to have the honor of reading this today. It speaks to tradition, our traditions as Americans, and actually as Petalumans too, and our sense of community. Just wanted to say in here that support for the museum that Stacy so eloquently described is still an opportunity for you if you haven't donated yet to the museum. Don't think you've missed your chance. So from the City of Petaluma proclamation, the 4th of July bell ringing 2025. And whereas with a resolution passed on July 4th, 1963, a great new national observance of American independence was inaugurated. Whereas it was resolved that bells would peal across the land from government buildings, college campuses, and churches at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, or such other times communities find most convenient, throughout the nation to remind all citizens that this was the moment when the Liberty Bell tolled in Philadelphia, proclaiming to all who heard it that a new nation had been born. And whereas by the ringing of bells on the 4th of July, our people are reminded by a great chorus of bells of the principle of freedom on which this nation was founded. And perhaps they will rededicate themselves to preserving those principles, not only here at home, but throughout the world. And whereas by the ringing of the bells across the land, we will have every year on our nation's birthday a fitting reminder of the exalted words and heroic decisions that founded the United States of America. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Kevin McDonald, Mayor of Petaluma, along with all members of the Petaluma City Council, do hereby honor this resolution by ringing the bell for freedom and liberty on Independence Day, July 4th, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor McDonald. Now I'd like to share a little bit more about Petaluma's own bell ringing tradition. But going back a little bit, did you know that bell ringing is a tradition that dates back to the birth of our nation? The Liberty Bell was rung in Philadelphia on July 8th, 1776, to summon citizens to hear the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence. For the first century of this country's history, it was the standard way to celebrate. After the Civil War, however, fireworks gradually drowned out the chiming of the bells. But in the early 1960s, a national campaign was begun by radio stations and news media to bring back bell ringing. And in 1963, President John F. Kennedy issued a proclamation urging it. Across the country, bells were rung 13 times, honoring the first 13 colonies at the same time, as the mayor mentioned just a moment ago. And a congressional act authorized the Let Freedom Ring national bell ringing ceremony. More than 50 years ago, Helen Putnam, Petaluma's first woman mayor, read of this and thought of the historic Corbell bell that she had in her garage. The Corbell brothers, whose other ventures included cigar box manufacturing and most famously sparkling wine, began lumber operations in Sonoma County as early as 1872. The bell hung at the Corbell Lumber Company, and when the business changed hands, the bell was taken by Miriam McNear Corbell, who was the daughter of prominent Petalumans Ida and George McNear, and had married into the Corbell family. Later, Miriam gave the bell to Rutherford Putnam, Helen's husband, and a member of a long-standing Sonoma family. The Putnams had the bell mounted on a small A-frame and attached to a rope. On July 4th, 1963, they invited interested locals to attend the bell ringing on their lawn. The American and California Bear flags were hoisted, the Pledge of Allegiance was recited, and a bugle was blown. Then at 11 a.m., the Corbell bell was rung 13 times. Afterwards, everyone had a chance to ring the bell, and Helen Putnam invited everyone to the rear garden for cookies and lemonade. Now the bell resides right here at the Petaluma Museum, and each July 4th we continue the celebration Helen Putnam began, cookies and lemonade included. Now you know a little bit more about why we ring the bell, and I'd like to welcome back Rivertown Voices for another beautiful song.
That they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
We, the people of the United States in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesty, for both the fruit and plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy gold with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet who stirred impassioned stress of thoroughfare or freedom meet across the wilderness. America, America, God met thine every flaw. Confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than love. America, America, may
anything good takes work and sacrifice, and to hear about some of those early sacrifices, here's Homer.
So have you ever wondered what happened to the 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence? 5 signers were captured by the British, one of whom was dragged from his bed at night. 12 had their homes ransacked and burned. One lost a son in the Revolutionary Army. Another had 2 sons captured. 9 of the 56 died during the Revolutionary War. They signed and they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. What kind of men were they? 24 were lawyers and jurists. 11 were merchants. 9 were farmers and large plantation owners. Men of means, well educated. But they signed the Declaration of Independence knowing full well that the penalty would be death if they were captured. Carter Braxton of Virginia, a wealthy planter and trader, saw his ships swept from the seas by the British Navy, and he sold his home and properties to pay his debts. Thomas McKean was so hounded by the British that he was forced to move his family almost constantly. He served in the Congress without pay. His family was kept in hiding, and his possessions were taken from him. Vandals, or soldiers, or both, looted the properties of Ellery, Clymer, Hall, Walton, Gwinnett, Hayward, Rutledge, and Middleton. At the Battle of Yorktown, Thomas Nelson, Jr. noted that the British General Cornwallis had taken over the Nelson home for his headquarters. The owner quietly urged General George Washington to open fire. The home was fired upon. Nelson died subsequently bankrupt. Francis Lewis had his home and properties destroyed. The enemy jailed his wife, already in poor health, and she subsequently died. John Hart was driven from his home and with his children fled for his life. His fields and his grist mill were laid to waste. He was forced to hide in the mountains to survive. He died 3 years later. Morris and Livingston suffered similar hardships. Such were the stories and sacrifices of the American Revolution. These were soft-spoken men of means and education. They had security, but they valued liberty more. Standing tall, straight, and unwavering, they pledged for the support of this declaration with firm reliance on the protection of the divine providence. We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. And now we'll hear again from the Rivertown Voices.
We chose this next piece because it's very appropriate for our time today. And I hope that you'll join us in singing it if you know the lyrics, which I think you will know. I better hear you.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right.
That song was written before World War I, but it was rejected by several people and didn't become popular until World War II. Sorry, I just can't help with the history. Anyway, so now we're going to have a little more ancient history almost, and if we could have one Boy Scout and one Girl Scout come up, I'm going to read the names of the 13 original colonies in order of which they were established, and we're going to hit the bell. And be sure and give it a good whack, kids. Virginia, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. I need hearing protection. Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and last, Georgia.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Lee Fordegren, Homer Johnstone, Mayor McDonald, Boy Scout Troop 9, Girl Scout Troop 10134, and the incredible Rivertown Voices. And many thanks again to all of you, our community, for joining us this morning. I hope you all have a happy and safe remainder of your 4th of July. And please do come back behind the museum and join us for lemonade, cookies, and mimosas in the courtyard. And I would really love if you could all leave a wish on our wish wall as well. So, without further ado, if you would like to ring the bell, you're welcome to step up and give it a try. You've got to hit it pretty hard. And those kids did an amazing job with that, and my head is ringing a little bit still. But thank you all again for joining us this morning. We appreciate you being here and your support of the museum. Enjoy the rest of your day.